This story, man, this story is disgusting. I'm an animal lover. I try to avoid eating foods that are, factory farmed and stuff like that. Not to a great extent. Let's be honest. I'm not the best activist in that regard. But look, I eat meat. I try to avoid dairy for the most part, and I try to, I prefer farming, and that's compassionate to an extent. Like, we're gonna eat you, bro. You're a chicken or a pig or a cow or whatever, and you're gonna get eaten. But I don't want to see animals suffer. I don't. Okay. We recognize as human beings, we empathy. We can look to even things that aren't human and be horrified by suffering, and that's what this story is about. Horse ridden by dreadhead cowboy on Dan Ryan may not survive. Prosecutors have charged this guy for forcing his horse to run 7.5 miles at a high rate of speed, kicking it and whipping it to push it further than it could. It's suffering from dehydration. It was bleeding. This poor horse, man. WTTW Chicago reports the horse ridden for 7.5 miles on the Dan Ryan Expressway during an impromptu protest Monday by a man known as the Dreadhead Cowboy would not have survived without immediate treatment and may still be euthanized, according to Cook County prosecutors, who said the treatment of the horse was the equivalent of forcing an 80-year-old woman to run a full marathon. Adam Hollingsworth, 33, was held on $25,000 bond during a court appearance Wednesday after he was charged with a felony count of aggravated cruelty to an animal, as well as misdemeanor counts of reckless conduct, trespassing, and other traffic offenses. He must pay 10% of that amount, $2,500, to be released from jail. Hollingsworth has also been dubbed the Census Cowboy for his work with Mayor Lori Lightfoot to boost census participation in Chicago. He said he rode the horse on the expressway during rush hour in support of the Kids Lives Matter movement, an initiative that aims to raise awareness and motivate residents to fill out the census to help communities receive better funding. I can respect being an activist. I can respect wanting to raise awareness for kids and getting people to be involved in the census. But I will not respect a person who is cruel to an animal when that animal was clearly suffering. And you know what this guy said? I'd do it again. Lock him up. What are we supposed to do? She's showing no remorse. None whatsoever. I've heard that the horse is going to be put down. I don't know if it's in this story, but man, that's brutal. That sickens me. That really does, man. I don't know. I don't normally do animal cruelty segments, but here's the update. They say the man known as the Dreadhead Cowboy was surprised to be criminally charged with animal cruelty and said he'd consider carrying out more protests after riding his horse 7.5 miles on the Dan Ryan Expressway during rush hour. Adam Hollingsworth, who was charged with a felony count of aggravated cruelty to an animal and other misdemeanors, said during a press conference Thursday afternoon that he had to make a statement about the number of children who had been killed this year in Chicago. No, this guy is pushing this animal, this horse, to suffer as a political stunt. That's what he does. He puts on his cowboy hat, he has branded merchandise, and he rides around on a horse as a stunt. And this poor horse is suffering because of it. You know what? I don't like the horse carriages in New York City either. I think they're sickening. Okay? It's not about this guy being a protester. I don't know if Kids Lives Matter is about left or right. I don't care. I don't want to see anything like this. And I don't want to see these people get defended. And this guy's working with Mayor Lori Lightfoot. So yeah, of course, the assumption is going to be made. This guy's a leftist activist. In New York City, they make these horses pull these carriages, and apparently they live in squalor. I actually talked to some cops about it. I was down by Wall Street a decade, it's 9 years ago. And I saw several officers on horses standing around by Wall Street. And they had the barricade set up because they're Occupy Wall Street. And they were talking. And I asked them, because the horse was the horse doing its thing. I said, what's the horse's name? And they told me the name. I can't remember. And it was it's like a person's name. And I was like, do the horses get people's names? And the cop told me, we named the horses after fallen officers. And I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then I just, to make conversation, I was like, did you hear about what's going on with these carriages? And they were like, yeah. And the cops were pissed off because the cops, they love their horses. They name their horses for fallen officers, people they respect and worked with who made the ultimate sacrifice. And so these guys, as much as they could express it, yeah, the horses in New York go through suffering too. So listen, I don't want to derail into that because you'll start talking about animal cruelty and stuff. I think it's different if you're going to eat and try and be compassionate when you end the life of the animal and give thanks for what you will receive from this other life. I know, look at hippy dippy me, right? I'm not a vegan or anything, but because I don't take it that far. I recognize we eat meat, humans do. And I know people who don't for animal cruelty reasons. That's cool. They can do their thing. But this is, here's the quote. Would I do it again? Yes, I do it again. He said, explaining why he carried out the protest. I've been in jail. I had a background. I'm not perfect. That was something worth going to jail for. No, it wasn't, dude. You want to put your life on the line? You want to run until your feet bleed? Bro, I will support you every step of that way. I will post a video say, look at this guy. I'll tweet it out. I'll be like, this guy's running. His feet are bleeding because he cares about this. But to force this animal, this horse, to do it for you and then say, I would do it again. You sat on the back of this animal and kicked it to make it run till it bled. Okay, that's not protesting. That's you putting on a political stunt and causing suffering. This is what these people do. They do not care about anyone but themselves. And that's what I often talk about this, when they go and smash up a small business. And then I see that photo. There's a bodega, it was in New York City, of an immigrant couple hugging, standing amid the rubble of what was destroyed by these people. This is what happens when they don't care about anyone but themselves. What do they care about? The idea of fairness and care. The idea, not actually doing it. This horse could die, and he's saying, I would do it again. They throw bricks through windows. They start fires. They lie. They cheat. They steal. You got callous people on the right. You got nasty people on the right. Of course you do. Come on, let's not play games. People are people. It doesn't matter what your political alignment is. But right now, we are not seeing Trump supporters going around smashing up small businesses and abusing animals. We're not. And there was a poll I saw earlier. They said something like 54% of liberals think that the violence at protests is caused by right-wing agitators. It makes me angry. How stupid and evil do you have to be? How willfully ignorant to support this kind of vile behavior. I'm not just saying this stuff because I'm more concerned with animals than I am with people. Quite the opposite. I complain about what they're doing to people all the time. And now you're doing it to a horse and you do it again. They don't care about you. They don't care. He doesn't care about the horse. He's charged with a felony. He thinks he's the one. No, I might go to jail. I would do it again. Oh, okay. You'd kill another horse? They say the 33-year-old said on Thursday he didn't mean to harm his horse and repeatedly referred to himself as an animal lover. But Cook County prosecutors allege he rode the horse nearly to death Monday, with one equine veterinarian comparing its ride with forcing an 80-year-old woman to run a full marathon. As of Wednesday, the horse remained in critical condition and may still be euthanized. I hope this horse makes it. And you know what? Give this horse a big, beautiful field to live their life. I do not want to see animals suffer. I don't want to see chickens, cats, rats, mice. I don't want to see insects suffer. Okay? I swat flies. For the most part, I don't even like killing bugs. I like catching them, letting them go. So maybe I got a bias against flies. I'm sorry, I'm a hypocrite. The flies are the one thing I'm like, nuh-uh, not you. Get out of my house. But I see bugs, I see lizards. I want to make sure if you're in my house, I'm going to pick you up, I'm going to take you outside. Spiders, actually, that's a different story. You know what I do with spiders? I bring them in the house. I do. I want the spiders in because they help out, Spider bro will be chilling in the corner and he'll be eating the bugs and I dig it. So I don't like death. I view life as precious. I think some life is more precious than other life. I really, really do. What I mean by that is people of all backgrounds. But I will say that it's, I think I'm biased because I'm a person. So naturally, I'm going to be more concerned about a person dying than an animal. But I will be extremely concerned about an animal dying as well. I tell you, man, life is deserving of respect in all its forms. It's what we are. And we share this planet. And we help each other survive. And we compete with some other, creatures or otherwise, Some animals want to hurt you. And that's because it's how life works. But I'm not about reckless pain and suffering for no reason. I don't like the idea of, people pulling off legs of insects. It's gross to me. It's gross to me. I think if you need to, you do it. If there's a reason for it. And again, like I said, you know what? Maybe I'm being a little hypocritical because I kill flies. But I don't want to see anything die. I don't want to see plants die. We had a pot, on my porch, and a bunch of weeds started growing in it because it was just empty dirt. And now I water these weeds, these random hodgepodge, because I want it to live. I want it to flourish. I like it. I like life. I don't like death. I don't like pain. I don't like suffering. And I don't like evil people who don't care about others and would extract value from them and cause them to suffer. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit of a lefty. But this guy, man, this guy and many other people like him, it's all part of the same brain thing where they just don't care how much suffering they cause as long as they get what they want. And this guy, what does he do? He sells shirts or something? Whatever, man. I got one more segment coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.